Welcome back. Local Decision 2023. Don't forget, Election Day is April 11th. Blaine City Council seat, Ward 2, is up for grabs. Special election in play. And in studio right now is Terry Wold. He's one of the candidates. And Terry, thanks so much for stopping by. And first and foremost, tell our viewers about yourself. Who are you?
Well, I'm Terry Wold. I grew up in rural North Dakota. I graduated in 1965 from Williston High School. Roamed around a little bit and ended up living in Minneapolis. Attended Dunwoody College, where I majored, if you call it today, majored in architectural engineering, and went on from there, worked primarily in design work, major real estate and design companies. Worked for a number of years in that. Kind of went on to work with more of the real estate end of it than construction. Got into specialty construction. Over a number of years, I worked for a major company out of Plymouth, Minnesota. I managed a number of buildings, big commercial industrial buildings downtown Minneapolis in the 80s. So I have a wide background in construction management, leasing. I ended up having my own company. We were doing specialty contracting. One of the larger projects that we did was to clean up the contaminated soil, and after the 35W bridge collapse, we did a lot of that type of work. I'm married for 50 plus years to my wife Donna. We had 2 kids, a son and a daughter that went through Centennial. My daughter is now a teacher at Irondale High School. It's simple. She has my daughter has 2 daughters. My son has 2 sons. And they are now currently in Centennial High School.
Great.
One will be a junior and one will be a freshman.
All right, so you have a background in construction.
Yes.
How do you build a better Blaine? The city is thriving, it's growing. How do you make it even better?
Well, when I first came to Blaine, I mean, I lived in Circle Pines for 12 years, and then I got to be active in, not politically, I'm not a political person, but I got to be active in the city and the southern Anoka County. I was a member of the Lions Clubs. We ended up moving to Blaine about 37 years ago, and I've been watching Blaine grow. I remember back in the days of Mayor Tinklenberg. I saw Tom Ryan when he first became mayor. I've developed a very close friendship with Mayor Ryan, ex-Mayor Ryan. And I've watched it grow from basically sod fields and open areas where houses are built. My house was built like in 1984. And I've watched communities grow. And a number of years ago, we were starting to fill up. Land was becoming less and less for being developed. It can't be all residential. We ended up, I got really involved with the Mayor Ryan's work that he was going on. He got me into the Blaine Beyond the Yellow Ribbon, which I'm still a member of. I currently serve on 2 commissions boards. I'm on the Traffic Commission. I'm the vice chair of that. I'm also a Blaine representative to the board of SBM Fire. Back in Circle Pines, I was an EMT firefighter, and now I think Blaine needs to continue to grow. When I talk with people throughout the area, and I mention I'm from Blaine, sometimes I get a blank look, and they'll say, I want it to be oh, Blaine, instead of, oh, Blaine.
Yeah.
It really, we have so much to offer. We have really good areas of development. We've got major issues. Problems need to be worked on. Issues need to be worked on before they become problems. I think some of the issues we need to have a little more consensus and the council working together. I started, when Tom Ryan left office, I started going to council meetings. And then I found that really to learn how this city is operating, I go to the workshops prior to the council meetings to see the back and forth as to how these decisions are made. And then I basically, I've been going to a lot for the last 2 years.
Give me roughly 30 seconds on the top 3 issues that you think Blaine is facing that you want to try to tackle. 30 seconds each.
Well, I'm a huge advocate of police and fire. I really think Blaine has, if I'm not mistaken, our crime rate has gone down over the last couple of years as opposed to other cities. We have an excellent fire department. When we finally brought Centennial Fire into the realm of where SBM manages the administrative end of Centennial Fire, we make great progress, and it's growing. It's growing. They're interested again. The lights are on at the Circle Pine Station, and I live in that southeast corner of Blaine. So I think we have, every one of my candidates were all for 65 Northtown. We're all for getting these issues worked on. 65 is a problem. I want to be a problem solver working with the rest of the council, because as a new council member, my voice is, maybe they'll listen. But if we can all go the same way and talk the same story, we can get a lot more done. I'm concerned primarily on 65 as to not if it happens, but when it happens, what happens when that's under construction?
Yeah.
What happens for 2 years to the other Aberdeen streets, to Lexington Avenue right now is getting to be the Highway 65 of eastern Blaine.
Yeah, probably more pain before there is gain. There's
but no one talks about
no
it.
way around it.
And one thing I'd like to see is the Traffic Commission is really only, it started in 2017 after the death of, we ended up having only city and residential streets. We should, as a Traffic Commission of Blaine, we should be kept in the loop with the state, federal, and county, what's going on with their roads. Because we get a lot of complaints and issues from people that we have no control over. But we should have at least some answers for them.
Tell me, Terry, I know in your campaign brochure you're talking about sensible solutions as opposed to getting political. How do you walk that line if you become a council member and you are in the body politic?
Well, I realize that. I look at myself as a centrist. I'm not a politician. I like to learn as much as I can about the issues that we have. Good, bad, whatever the issue is. Learn as much as I can and talk with the people that maybe they're to the left of me or way to the right of me. I can learn from them. At least the issue I want to get to is I want to get to that goal at the end. Now, if I was in charge, it would be a straight line. But to get there, I may have to go to the left and then veer over to the right, and it'll be a zigzag line. But I see some of the issues being sidetracked because of political division. It's either all for them or all for them. And I want to be someone that can bridge that gap, talk with people.
Where do you land when it comes to some of the contentious issues regarding high-density, medium-density housing, apartments. What's your opinion on all that?
Well, the whole world revolves around, I just brought it up at coffee this morning, it all revolves around this. We need people to pay the taxes. The more we can get, the better, but we don't need them living in just too small of, you know. I live in a very modest house, and I like the idea of low to medium density. If we can work that out, there were a number of proposals on the table last night in Blaine at the council meeting, and I can see with the division on the council, and there's really no movement that I can see, and I'm not privy to all what the information they get, but just from what I can gather at the workshops and the councils and talking with my representatives, you know, I want to be able to listen to my Ward 2 constituents and the people of Blaine, and I can be open-minded. I like to think I'm open-minded. I may not give you the answer you want, but I'll explain to you why.
When you're out knocking on doors, pounding the pavement, campaigning, what are you hearing? What are the residents of Blaine telling you?
Well, they're all, oh, how do I say this? First of all, they don't realize we have an election coming up. So that takes the first 5 minutes.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
That takes the first 5 minutes. And then they'll ask me what party I'm with. And I said, well, I'm really not with a party. We all want a better Blaine. I mean, at least on paper, that's what I see. Mm-hmm. It's how are you going to get there? I'm kind of a hands-on person. I'm semi-retired, probably going to be fully retired here if I were to win my seat. And I would have a lot of time to devote to it. Nothing against raising a family, or nothing against working for a living. Been there, done that. I have the time to get involved with, and I'm pretty much a straight shooter. I will, if I don't agree with you, I'll tell you, and then I'll tell you why. And maybe we can sit down over a cup of coffee and we'll both learn something. Somebody called me a pragmatist, and I really had to look it up. I didn't, we never heard that word in Williston, North Dakota.
Let's get out the dictionary.
Well,
type word,
thank goodness for
Google
Google.
it up, right?
Thank goodness for Google.
Yeah, these days it is Google.
Yeah.
I know you want to make Blaine even more of a destination city than it already is. Tourism is huge here with you know, the USA Cup and the 3M Open and National Sports Center. How can we improve on that?
Just keep doing what we're doing. Every success story helps our image. It goes back to this, oh, you're from Blaine? Oh, you're from Blaine. It makes a world of difference. One of my jobs coming up in this world was, early on, was I would watch people work, and then I'd write up a report as to an efficiency expert. And I got to learn to read people. And one of the entertaining things I do for myself at a workshop is to watch and read the people as to how they respond to issues or to problems. I mean, are you in panic, or are you looking for a way to help? You know.
Before we wrap up, tell the viewers why you're the one who should be the next council member in Ward 2.
Well, I've got the time. As my literature shows, I've got a world of experience, W-O small R-L-D.
I saw that.
And I'm open to criticism. I'm open to a backslap. Just tell me what the issue is, and let's see what we can do. I can't say that I'll always agree with you. I've always been I've been called a very ethical person. I really, I don't like to beat around the bush and play the political game of, well, I'll hold this back and if you give me and my constituents this. I represent Ward 2, but I represent Blaine. And just, all my competition, we all want a better Blaine. It's how you get there.
Yeah.
Do you have the time to do it, to work on the issues and to solve some of the problems? I won't get everything done, but I know a little bite at a time of progress will help.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
All right, very good. He's Terry Wold, running for Blaine City Council, Ward 2, the special election coming up on April 11th. This is Local Decision 2023.